G'day viewers and welcome back to the channel. Just a few more little steps, well big steps, and this wishing well's done. Stick around. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. I hope you learned something. If you like what you see, and consider subscribing. Now, you probably noticed I look a bit different. That's because my wedding was last week. What you're about to see was filmed about 2 weeks ago. And it's just the final steps of making this wishing well. So, yeah, this is a long episode, but everything is done. It is finished by the end of this episode. We still have to put all the upright section on. We have to put a base in it so that stuff just doesn't fall out the bottom. And there's a couple more little fun tricks. Let's get into it. Now, as I mentioned, we need to make a cover for that. And you're probably thinking, how on earth are you going to get it the right shape? It's actually really easy. Let me show you. Now, before we go any further, pause the video, go down in the comments, tell me, what's the first thing you're going to need? I'll wait. Now, if anyone said pen, pencil, or any other writing implement, sorry, that's not true. You will need one eventually, but it's not the first thing you'll need, nor is it the second or the third. The first thing you need, well, it's close, it's a piece of paper. This is two A4s taped together. You can see that tape line down the middle there, because obviously an A4 is not going to fit it, and I don't have A3. Place that on top. Now all you need is a dirty finger. Fortunately, got a lot of dirt. Start in one place, go around. You see what's happening there? I'm leaving a dirty line where that edge is. Go all the way around. What's happening there? Oh, okay. More dirt. Obviously, you notice, make sure you hold the piece of paper in, and it just moved. Just as I was saying it, that'd be right. Make sure the paper doesn't move. Otherwise, your whole line's going to move. Right, that's got it. Let's come back over here so we can do this section. Go over it one more time just to make sure. Just going to try and crease these bits where the tape is to give me some sort of idea where it is. There we go. Right, that's our shape. And now you're going to take a pair of scissors and cut around that line. Right, let's try that on. It's a little tight. No, it's not upside down. No, it's not round the wrong way. Need to take off a bit more around here. And I hope you get the idea. You just go around finding where it doesn't fit and just trim a little bit off until you get the right size and the right shape, and then we'll move on to the next step. Right, that's close enough to where we need it, and I bet you can pick the next step because you can see it in the background. We're going to transfer that onto there. And nice and early in the piece, here's the tip of the week. If you ever need to stick a paper template or pattern to wood, metal even, get out your trusty glue stick. Apply it to the paper, obviously. Just around the edges. Try to work over the area where it's actually going to stick down. You know how to do this. I'll talk while I'm doing this. Once you stick it down, well, it never technically dries. So you can leave it there for a couple of days if you want. And then just come back and peel it right off. A bit in the middle just to help it along. I'm just going to put that right there. Try to get all the wrinkles out if you can. If you can't, whoops. That's near enough. Now we're just going to trace around that with a Sharpie. And you can use the edge of the paper as your guide. You can even draw up onto the paper. It's not going to go inside the line, is it? And it doesn't matter if you go outside. Right. You know, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to do a couple of other things, and I'll come back to that just to show you that it just peels straight off. Well, that gives us our rough shape. Now I just need to, I'll get the rasp out and take off a few edges. But since we're here, yeah, I know it's only been about 10 minutes, but just to prove a point. That's weird, there wasn't even any glue there. It's making a liar of me. It is absolutely making a liar of me. Weird, it's coming off in some parts but not others. Having said that, the rest is coming off with a fingernail. Not that difficult at all. Let's see if this works. Yep, there we go. Well, that sucks. For starters, that tip needs to go. Bit better. Still not great. Before anyone says, why don't you just use your belt sander? That's why. I'm just going to put a line about there. Down to there. And, well, all of this. I'm going to hit that on the bandsaw. Next thing, where do I put the screw holes? First, need to get that out. Take a ruler, line it up with the marks that we made earlier. Yes, that one. And that one. And transfer those marks out here. Go around, do the same with the other end. And then go this way. Now we put our board back in. On those two marks. Again, let's go around and do all four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that one I think can go in a bit more. Now with that in place, we just drill down through all four of those. There's our screw holes. Oh, look at that, there's our holes. And, well, that one's a bit off, but it's still within. That one's okay. Those two are good. Drill them down. Alright, I'm also going to take the 4 in the bottom, out to 4mm. Those other ones were 3mm, by the way. Just so the screws don't bind up in this. And then, I hit them with a countersink bit. My battery just died. Alright, got another one. There you go. That's all it needs. Just so it sits flat. Cool. Well, now that the bottom's finished, I've released it from the frame, flipped it over. It's just sitting in there at the moment. But now, have to cut the slot in the top. First thing I'm going to do is secure down this frame. This is wide enough and long enough so that the router will sit in that, and at its full travel it will hit the ends of the slot. But I need to secure that down. Notice there's a hole in each end. And notice too, when I made this frame, I put the side to side pieces underneath, so it's not going to impair the router sliding. It's just going to keep going. But it does need a screw. I've already done that end, but I'll show you on this end. I'm going to countersink this so that I can put a screw through the metal, into the wood, and it'll pull down flush. Do that. If you have a countersink bit, great. If you don't, well, you're going to have issues. Basically, when you're countersinking, that's a bit hard. To get a good countersink, measure it on the head. If the head fits inside the hole up that way, well, you know it's going to be below the surface. That needs to go just a little bit more, and then I'll be right to screw this down. That should do it. Just make sure the screw is pulled down far enough. Yep, good. That shouldn't be up that high. And let's screw it down. Notice here I went extra deep. That pulled a countersink down in the metal. It's only thin metal, it's only about 0.8 millimeters. So that's pulled it right down, so, well, it's not going to move, but it's not going to interfere either. Alright, let's get the router out. Okay, I have a 12mm bit in the router. We're going to start shallow cut and gradually go deeper and deeper. Not going to just plunge it all the way through. That's how stuff breaks. That's as deep as we go, and we're not deep enough. Looks like I'm going to have to adjust it out a bit more. I still have plenty of length on the shank. Alright, that's about as far out as I'm comfortable with, so, well, I hope it goes through. Let's find out. And we're through. So we can take this off now, start on some other stuff. Well, it's getting dark on me, but I'm going to try and knock this out pretty quick. Here I was thinking I was never going to use this again. But here I am. I've set the platform up, raised on a piece of 25mm square tube, just so I can get the proper height on the bit. Now I know, well, I can go down, well, as far as it'll go. There's my depth. So, I'm going to quickly knock them out. Wrap it up for the night. Oh, by the way, that's a 16mm spade I'm using there. Just if anyone's interested. that will fit a piece of 5/8 dowel. Pretty sure I just drilled through. That's okay. Alright, we'll just reposition, do the other one, and then we're going to call it a night. Well, that one went through clean. Wow, that's washing out. That one's just a little bit off. Not worried about it either way. But there's our two base holes. Well, in typical fashion, I've jumped ahead a little bit. Now, some of you may have noticed a branch sitting over by the fence. Well, it's no longer just one branch. It's 4 separate pieces and the rest of it's sitting right there. This is going to make, well, the cover. Plus we have that over there, which I picked up from the local scrapyard. Now, obviously I've cut the pieces and then I went and cut angles on the bottom. Don't mind the tape for now, I'll explain that later. These sit kind of like that. Yeah, all twisted and that, but that's the whole appeal. That is our height. Need to cut that off there. Match the other upright. And then these two pieces, well, this one, there's another one, sits across the top. Pretty much like that. You see that? Not really. There we go, how's that? That sits there, cut that off there, that sits across the top like that. So the next move, cut these two uprights down. And while I'm doing that, I'll explain the tape. 1, that gives me a line. 2, it keeps the bark in place. So this will come off once I've cut it, and then I'll put some wood glue in there, re-tape it so the bark stays there. Alright, let's cut these. Now I need to mark this so I get the right height. About there. If it's not exactly the same height, doesn't matter. There we go. Now comes the fun part. I need to drill these square to the base. This is going to be fun. Now, if there's one thing I've learned in life, there are no problems. There might be issues, but for every issue, there's a solution. For this particular issue, here's the solution. Remember back when I made this, I mentioned that the whole pattern was the same as the pillar off the drill press. That's why. I can bolt the original pillar on, just clamp that there, there we go. Now I can drill that out, no problem. Alright, a little bit of repositioning, now we're ready to go. Nice deep hole. Next. Alright, now you notice because I've cut it on an angle, it's going to drill technically not down the center line, it's going to drill on an angle. So I have the bit offset from the center so it doesn't end up coming out the side. It will eventually, actually probably not, but we're not going that deep anyway. So once I come down to about here, it'll end up about there, not out here. Hole number 2. Right, that should be the last time we need this, so let's get rid of this and we'll move on. That, it's kind of a loose fit, that's okay. Nothing a bit of glue won't fix. Let's try this one. I kind of suspected that because, yeah. Alright. And it's a bit crooked too, so we're going to have to do something about that. That's fine. But what I need to do is mark that and then cut it off. Now I'll just cut it off there. There we go. No, that wasn't sped up, that was actual time. Looks like I fluked it big time. They sit perfect. Just that little bit of movement I had means that they're in, they're done. We've just got to throw some glue on it. That's it. Then we can move up the top. But not going to do them yet because still need to shape them a bit to fit all that. That off. Now, although you just saw me put screws in here, A, they're not going to be seen. B, we want it to be as rustic as possible. So, although that screw's holding it in place, actually going to disguise that by wrapping the join with some jute rope, just to make it look a little more authentic. But not going to do that now, because I need to secure these. I need to reattach some bark in places, glue those in, and I'll see you tomorrow. Well, I've jumped ahead again, but this bit would have been boring. I grabbed the piece of corrugated iron out. Unfortunately, it was galvanised, so that's why it had no rust on it. So first thing I had to do was take all the gal off and hit it with some vinegar. It's put some rust on it. It needs a lot more for my liking, but I'll get to that once it's put in place. Well, pretty much all that first coat of vinegar did was show me where the zinc still is, and there's still some around there. All the dark spots, that's all zinc. But I'm actually not too worried about that. So now comes the rusting process, which I did look up online, but I'm going to recreate it right here. So first thing we need to do, vinegar. For those who don't know, vinegar is actually an acid. But anyway, let's get the spray bottle working. There we go. Spray that on. Liberally. Just go nuts. Open up that spray a bit. A bit more. No, wrong way. You can see it working already, but we're going to give that a couple of minutes, come back, give it another coat. Well, you can see it's done a bit, but that's just prep. Now we've got to hit it with the real solution. And here's the tip of the week. I need to get that in there. Don't have a funnel, small funnel. What am I going to use? Well, it's dry, so we can use a piece of paper. Just roll it up like that. I'll show that again. Roll it like that. Bit of fiddling around, and there you have a small funnel. I can widen up the neck like that, so we can put that in there. There we go. That was salt, by the way, into the vinegar. And now we're going to add the other secret ingredient, hydrogen peroxide. It's only a small bottle, but I'm only going to use a small amount, so we're just going to pour that into there. There we go. And give that a good shake. And now we're going to spray that on here. You see that working already? But we're just going to leave that, let that dry, and no, I'm not going to make you sit through that. It's worse than watching paint dry. So we'll come back when that's dry and see what it looks like. But while we're waiting, I showed you some jute rope earlier. It's a couple of days ago for me, but anyway, that was a bit big for what I want. So I found this. Yes, that's even bigger, but once we separate it, those individual strands are quite large, but they're big enough to do what I want to do. So now I'm going to separate 3 meters of jute rope. That off. That off. And manufacturers have nicely taped off the ends. Don't need that, so get that off. And we're going to separate those 4 strands. But you know what? I am going to grab some tape and tape off these individual strands, because otherwise they're just going to unravel themselves. I'll tape them down here because, well, they've already started fraying. 2 down, 2 to go. Alright, moving on. Yeah, I only need 2 pieces, and that's probably too much actually, but now we can just roll this up and use this at a later date. If I can get it untwisted. There we go. Still not dry. There's a big pool down here, so we'll just leave that alone and let it dry. Meantime, we'll figure out how we're going to wind this onto here. Just going to play around with it a bit. Wrap it around there a couple of times. Get a good anchor. Oh, and that moved. Awesome. So now I'm going to go up over there, back there, around again. Around over there. And around over there. Around and over there. No, around there. I'm going to have to go over again because it's going the wrong way, because that needs to come back. There we go. Around there like that. And then we can tie these two together. Take that tape off. Maybe. There it is. There we go. And tie that again. Remember, this is not structural. This is for decorative purposes only. But it has to look like it's authentic. It has to look like it's structural, but it looks okay to me. What do you guys think? I think that'll work. I'll just cut these off to the other side. This reminds me of an old joke. 3 pieces of string walk into a bar. First one goes up to the bar and says, "Can I have 3 beers, please?" Barman says, "No, we don't serve string here." A bit devastated, he walks back to his mates and says, "Apparently they don't serve string." The second bloke says, "Let me have a go." He goes up, "Can I have 3 beers?" "No, we don't serve string here." Okay. Goes back to the other 2. Same thing. Yeah, he says he doesn't serve string. Third bloke says, "Let me have a go." So he twists himself around and ruffles up his hair and stuff and walks up to the bar and says, "Can I have 3 beers?" And the barman looks at him and says, "You a piece of string?" He says, "No, I'm afraid not." Boom, boom. There we go. Alright, next. Start there. Go around. And again. And up over there. Round. Up over there. And around. Up over there. And over there. And now it comes back the right way. Awesome. Not there. And just as a final little measure, just going to put some wood glue on the knot. Not out of this bottle because it's all clogged up. Try that again. There we go. A bit up there. This will dry clear so you won't even see it. And that's just to make sure that, well, the knot doesn't come undone. Still wet, but getting there. But pretty much, once this is dry, then we can put this on. And we're done. And I thought I had some rusty nails. Turns out I don't. If I do, they're not anywhere I can find. So, grabbed a bunch of screws. Took the coating off the heads. And then just soaked them in vinegar. And as you can see, they're all nice and rusty. So the next thing to do is put the roof on. Alright, well, it's the next day and you can't really see that properly, the light's on it. There we go. It's really rusty. That's a good thing. Yeah, there's still a few points where the zinc's still there. I'm actually not going to worry about that because, well, it gives it more character. But now, we need to attach that, well, to the well. And the first thing to do is figure out, well, where it needs to go. Now, if you notice on the sheet, that edge is not square. It works in my favour. Because, well, neither of those two are square or parallel. So that edge, that side sort of kicks that way, this one kicks this way. So we're going to line that edge up with this side, turning it around. Kind of like about there. And I'm going to make sure the same. That's what I thought. Oh well, that's fine. No, we're going with that. it's crooked, but that's fine. Line that up there. It's about 100 there. Now that I have it set up, now I need my Sharpie. Let's try that again. About there. Put a mark about there. Alright, so there's our mark. We need to go about 100 millimeters out from there. So measure that. That's about 400. So yeah, 500. So knowing that this side is narrower, this end is narrower than that end, so mark that there. Go and grab the tin snips. This stuff is super thin and super easy to cut, but I'm going to show you a trick in a minute. Alright, we got that started. Done! Alright, now that I've cut that down, or torn that down as it were, I'm just going to throw 2 screws in it just to locate it and hold it in position. I'm going to put those 2 locators right at the top. Well, not right at the top, offset, but at the top. Back edge is okay. Well, this edge. Where's the front? Where's the back? Who cares? Who knows? Who cares? That one about there. This edge, it needs to come off about there. Right there. I'm actually going to do that with a grinder because trying to get in here with the snips, it's going to be all over the place. That's a good thing, but not. Yeah, snips. No, grinder. Also, going to trim down these corners. Just round them off a bit so people don't cut their hands on it. I was just cleaning up the edges there, so there's nothing sharp, but obviously there still is. So yeah, I still need to go around that with the sander just to take that edge off. So people at my wedding don't do that. Well, finally, after many months, it's finished. Thank goodness for that. And we added a few little finishing touches. Our initials and the date of our wedding carved into it. Because, yeah, back in the day, people used to carve their initials in trees. Yeah. But there it is. All done. Wife loves it. I think it looks pretty good too. But that's it. Well, I hope everyone enjoyed watching that as much as I did making that. No, really, it was well, it was a privilege, but it really tested my knowledge and my skills, and well, there's the outcome. You saw the outcome. I'm really happy with it, my wife's really happy with it, and well, that's the main thing. So thank you everyone for watching this build, this series. I hope you learned something or two. I hope you liked what you saw. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button down below. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way, you know when the next project's coming, which isn't too far away. You've probably actually already seen part of it. But I'll see you on the next one.